Good morning, YouTube. It's How To with Dr. Gaddy again. So today we're going to be working on the rough electrical. What the rough electrical means is we're going to be pulling the wires, hanging the outlet boxes, installing the outlets, hanging the breaker box, and running the wire to it. We're not doing anything final yet. So with that being said, y'all should know up front, I am not an electrician, I'm not a plumber, I'm not a carpenter. At best, I am a self-taught country boy who is just proud of who he is. So don't try any of this at home, because I ain't responsible for your mistakes. What you'll see is that on the inside of the living area, I've got 3 boxes installed at the same height as all houses have them, because I didn't want to have it at any different height because furniture, etc., etc. Then up here, you'll notice that we've got our box hung. What we're going to do is I'm going to bring main power through the bottom, down through here, down through the floor, and I'm going to put a portal in the bottom that's watertight. Then all of the runs are going to come out of the top of the box and daisy chain 1, 2, 3, and then the same on the bottom. The 3 outlets on this side service the living area, while the 3 outlets on this side will service the cargo / kitchen area. Now, one of the last things I'm going to do on this side will be to re-tape around all of the boxes to take up all of the airspace so there's no thermal gaps. That one I got a little bit crazy when I was cutting. And the same for the back of the box, just around the edges, and fill up all these holes so that there's no thermal loss. As promised, we've got the wires pulled to the panel. This one is going to be the circuit on the other side of the wall, the garage space. This one is going to be the circuit for the living space. You can see they come up. I'm going to go get some staples because you always forget something when you're in town. I'm going to dress the wires neatly and secure them along the studs. We bored the minimum size hole to get the wires through to the lower section. And then something I learned on this old house from the electrician is once you pull your wire, fold it up and stick it back inside the box. It just makes for a neater appearance, plus it holds tension on the wires. So as you can see, we've got all the boxes pigtailed so that these 3 boxes will share 15 amps. And then these 3 boxes will share 15 amps. So like I said, I'm gonna go to town, go get some staples to secure the wiring, as well as pick up the breakers. We're going to need a 50 amp main, which goes up here. Then the 2 15s will go here and here and tie in underneath. All right, good evening, YouTube. So we got the electrical rough end finished up, and I'll take a minute and I'll show you exactly what we did. So down here, we installed 1, 2, 3 circuits. Each one of those outlets is a 20 amp outlet, as the wire is 12.2 and it's rated to carry 20 amps. On the other side, we installed 1, 2, 3, and I'll show you that over here on this side. You see how they come through the wall? They've been taped up to prevent any air leaks, and then once they get the face plates as well as the wall covering, it shouldn't be any issues. There's the back side of the circuit box. It is a 100 amp box that contains 6 slots, so that as we add to it with a 50 amp, we'll be okay. So one change from this morning, I was originally going to bring the power in the top side, but after looking at it, I decided, why would I do that when the breakers are going to line up across the bottom? I could just bring the services. This is for the kitchen and this is for the living room. I can just bring them through the bottom of the box and it'll be much neater and much nicer. You can also see we've got the correct staples securing the wire as it moves. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 50 amp RV cord. I'm going to put a watertight plug in the bottom, in the floor. I'm going to run that 50 amp RV cord up. We're going to cut the end off of it, bring it in the top of the box, and then splice it into the main circuit breaker, which will be the 50 amp circuit breaker. Then I'll be able to pull the cord back inside when it's not in use. And then when it is in use, we just drop it through the hole, stuff a rag around it to keep it from bringing in insects. Now, the next thing you're going to notice is what in the world happened to the interior walls in the living space and the ceiling. So it was all part of the plan originally. These gaps measure 1 inch. So the 1 inch polystyrene insulating foam that I was using yesterday on this wall will be cut to fit and go inside each one of these bays, top to bottom, all the way around to here. In the ceiling, it's the same. These beams are 1 inch. So I'm going to put the same polystyrene board on the roof. However, I can't mechanically adhere it, so it will be adhered simply with a chemical. And then the roof sheeting will hold it in place. So that pretty much wraps it up for today. And what we're going to do tomorrow is to finish up the insulation of the unit. Go get the 50 amp cable and try and get everything tidied up again so that we can then move to sheeting and or covering this wall. In the comments, if you feel like it, tell me what you think some good sheeting material might be. I'm leaning towards breaking down pallets and just making a pallet wall. One last thing, the inspiration for this video goes by Mike Bravo Charlie, and they'll know who they are. They gave me all the inspiration and the movement forward for this. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate y'all all watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.